On the night of Halloween, in a quiet town nestled in the heart of the forest, a group of teenagers decided to embark on an adventure they would never forget. The legend of the Whispering Woods had captivated their imaginations for years, and this Halloween, they were determined to explore its mysteries. The Whispering Woods were said to be a place where shadows came alive, where ancient spirits whispered secrets beyond human comprehension. The forest had always held an air of unease, but it was on this fateful Halloween night that they chose to venture deep into its heart. As they journeyed further into the forest, the trees grew denser and the night darker. A mist rolled in, obscuring their path, and the eerie calls of nocturnal creatures filled the air. Their flashlights cut through the darkness like beacons of hope, but their hearts raced with excitement and trepidation. It was in the heart of the Whispering Woods that they stumbled upon an old, decrepit mansion hidden among the twisted trees. Brook Manor, as it was known, loomed like a sentinel of the past, its presence sending shivers down their spines. The legends surrounding it were ominous, tales of curses and vengeful spirits. Despite their initial reservations, the allure of Halloween and the thrill of facing the unknown propelled them forward. They had come this far, and the prospect of exploring the reputedly haunted mansion was too tempting to resist. The entrance to the mansion was a set of towering, wrought iron gates, twisted and contorted with age. The gates groaned as they pushed them open, and the path beyond was overgrown and tangled with thorns. It was as though nature itself sought to deter them. The mansion's facade came into view, and its eerie silhouette against the misty night sent a chill down their spines. The structure stood as a sentinel of bygone eras, its grandeur now a mere echo of its former glory. Broken windows stared like vacant eyes, and the paint on the walls had peeled away to reveal the decaying wood beneath. Their flashlights illuminated the entrance, revealing an ornate, ancient door. It creaked open reluctantly, as if the mansion itself resisted their intrusion. A cold breeze swept through the doorway, carrying with it the scent of dampness and decay. Inside, the grand foyer stretched before them, its grandeur long faded. Cobwebs dangled like spectral draperies, and the silence was oppressive. The walls were adorned with portraits of long-deceased inhabitants, their eyes seeming to follow the group's every move. The portraits whispered secrets of generations long past, and each footstep echoed through the desolate mansion. The group of teenagers, while filled with a sense of adventure, felt a growing unease. They couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched, that the mansion itself was a living entity, observing their every step. The chilling atmosphere only intensified as they ventured deeper into the mansion. They encountered rooms filled with antique furniture, their surfaces covered in dust. The once luxurious upholstery had faded, and the mirrors, tarnished with age, seemed to reflect a world beyond the present. As they moved from room to room, their flashlights illuminated long-forgotten objects, each holding a fragment of the manor's history. A cracked porcelain doll, a moth-eaten ball gown, a stack of yellowed letters, all spoke of lives that had once thrived within these walls. In the ballroom, they discovered a grand piano, its keys cracked and covered in a thick layer of dust. It had the appearance of an antique, an instrument that had witnessed centuries of change. One of the teenagers, Emily, couldn't resist the temptation to touch its keys, and as she did, a haunting melody filled the room. The grand piano played itself, its keys moving as if guided by an invisible hand. The notes resonated through the ballroom, filling the air with an eerie tune. The other teenagers watched in disbelief as the music seemed to beckon them, its melody imbued with a spectral presence. The sense of unease grew as they continued to explore. Every shadow seemed to conceal secrets, and every corner of the mansion held a chilling mystery. They were drawn further and further into the heart of Hollowbrook Manor, unable to resist the mansion's eerie allure. The suspense built with each step, and their flashlights revealed more than they could have ever imagined. The mansion held secrets that defied explanation, and its supernatural inhabitants began to make themselves known. The teenagers found themselves entangled in a web of malevolent forces, a web from which there seemed to be no escape. Intrigued and yet unnerved, they couldn't help but inspect the masks. They reached out to touch them, and that's when they saw it. A silver mask, an ornate creation that seemed to possess a malevolent presence all its own. Sarah, one of the teenagers, couldn't resist the temptation. She took the silver mask in her hands, examining its intricate details. And as she placed it on her face, the world around her shifted. Her eyes darkened, and her laughter turned into a menacing cackle. She was no longer herself. Sarah was now a vessel for something ancient and malevolent, and the nightmare was only beginning.